naughty or nice when Santa comes around, using your PTIN is whether you have been e-filed and have you been sending in tax returns. The good news is e-filing has been getting better and better and easier. And in the past, there are many documents we weren't able to e-file, and as I understand it, we're supposed to actually be able to send in PDFs this year. So you should be able to e-file really just about all your tax returns. So just be aware. All right. I've got lots of stuff back here that you could say. Before I do that, though, let's talk about the deal. The deal. Okay. So. You know, we all know, I mean, you've seen it in the newspapers, you're just like me, right? That we have a deal, supposedly, where we're going to be keeping the Bush tax cuts for 2 years. I believe they're cutting the employee Social Security tax required to be withheld for the wage by 2%, and that's replacing the making work pay credit that we had before. And that's going to be a really big deal for some of your higher income clients, by the way. You know, I mean, if you have $100,000, that's $2,000. So it is a big deal. They've also talked about, you know, the estate tax. Now, as I understand it, as I've heard, now I don't have all the details in hand right now, but I believe they said for 2 years there will be a $5 million exemption and a maximum rate of 35%. Okay, which means that if you're a married couple, and if you both go in that period, you could get 10 million maybe. So if you haven't pulled the plug this year, you might have a couple more years. Anyway, but you know, financial planner friend of mine sent out a little announcement on this. He says, you know, now finally we can take care of estate planning issues. You can't handle estate planning issues by a 2-year extension because we don't know when people are going to pass away. So it will help in some cases, especially imminent death. But anyway, it's still a problem. By the way, the maximum rate for gifts this year is 35%. The exemption is still $1 million. So I'm sure I've been encouraging the clients to make gifts or at least brought it to their attention. All right, I've given you a copy of the letter to tax return preparers just to remind you about what they were saying our responsibilities are. I have a piece in here from Cameco about CPA to lender letters. So this is an item of concern about what we can say, you know, as far as assurance. And it's not a whole lot that we should be telling them. Basically what I've been saying is just, yes, I know them.
Like on the AICPA website, there's something letters and stuff along what you can do, what you can't do.
Yes.
If you're a member, and you basically can do nothing.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
and you can give the lender that, but if you're going to, a lot of the lenders that I've seen come through are asking for assurance that they will have the cash flow in the next 2 to 5 years.
oh really?
Yeah, and
Maybe for a business loan, yeah.
and you know, you can do that if they will agree, if your client will agree to a full audit.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really.
Okay. So anyway, there's another article here from the CPA letter. I think I got it off the Cameco site again. How CPA should handle the comfort letter request from lenders. And there's some sample letters here. And then again, as I told you, I've got the consent forms. Here's the one. Requests for reports on matters related to solvency. This is the thing that they really highlight. Basically, you just can't tell them.
Yeah, you just can't. There's a letter that they have generated
You can't
that
tell them.
you can give back, but it will deny the client the tax return or the loan.
I have the consent forms and then the uncertain tax positions. And then now another thing, then back here in the back, I have some congressional contact information. But you can look up your own representatives in Congress really easily online. I recommend that you do that. I've also given you AICPA Pre-Pearson Program and some of the contacts from Cal CPA. I somebody read my letter. I was glad to say. What they said wasn't very comforting. They basically said, yeah, there's some bad people out there, and we had to do something about it. So, but anyway. So, what I do want you to know, though, is that if we do make some noise, we have situations that I've seen where the IRS has responded. For example, they're talking about, like I said, liberalizing what happens for, whether you have to register your team members, non-CPAs. And so, so that's why it's important for us to make some noise and let them know. And the more of us, if you just send one letter, it doesn't have much impact. But if we have hundreds of letters, then it may have some impact and get some attention. All right. Well, I went to all this trouble to dress up in this wonderful costume. And so what I want to do, though, is read you, if I can get through it, this last paragraph from Patrick Henry's speech. And he was a much more eloquent person than I am. And he had it all memorized. But I'm going to cheat and I'm going to read it to you. But just for us all to remember and to make our history teachers proud. Okay. It is in vain, sir, to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The war is actually begun. The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring to our ears the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already on the field. Why stand we here idle? But is it the gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear, or peace so sweet, as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take. But as for me, give me liberty, or give me death. I haven't heard of anything. I sent a letter to them. I actually got a response from the chairman. And he said, I'm sending you a letter to the person in charge of the tax group. So, but I haven't heard of anything. And we know that, again, I don't expect anything to happen in the disclosure area, but I sure would like to see something happen in the use area. Anybody else have any questions? Stunned silence? Okay. Didn't quite expect to see this today, huh? But I want to thank, especially those people, I have a few of you that came over the hill today, and so thank you for coming over and joining us over here. And keep the Santa Cruz group going.